You were right to stop here. It may seem hard to believe, but this moment wasn't just a random one. It wasn't by chance that your eyes landed on this message. It was meant to be. From the very second you saw these words, something different started to stir around you. It wasn't the words themselves, but because I guided you here to awaken something that had been hidden inside you for a long time. Maybe you've been caught up in many things, going through life without expecting anything out of the ordinary. Maybe your mind has been exhausted, flooded with endless thoughts, just needing a moment to breathe, a sign, a spark of hope. But it was in that very moment I directed your attention here. It wasn't luck or impulse, it was purpose. You've been carrying more than most people can understand, not just the weight of money, but emotional, mental, and spiritual burdens. You've had to stay strong even when no one asked you to. You've held on to difficult situations, made choices you didn't want to, taken on responsibilities you never signed up for, and stayed silent when words could never express your pain. I've seen it all. I've noticed your sleepless nights, your worries about what's missing, what's been delayed, and what hasn't been achieved. I've seen you try to stay positive when your heart was crying for relief. I saw you stay calm while your mind raced with unanswered questions. But even with all this weight on you, you're still moving forward. It may be slow, it may be tiring, but you haven't quit. That says more about you than you realize. You might think your faith has faded. You might feel like you no longer believe like you once did. But for me, who knows the heart, it's never been about the size of your faith. What matters is that you've continued to seek me, even when you felt empty. Even if your faith seems as thin as a thread, as long as it's there, I can use it to open doors you thought were forever closed. From the beginning, I want you to know that this message is an answer. It's an answer to those words you spoke in tears, when no one was around to hear. It's for the silent cries when you said, I need something to change. I need help. I need a miracle. To the moments when you looked up at the sky, not with much hope, but with a sigh from exhaustion. I heard you. You didn't come here just to get money. Deep down, what you truly need is peace, relief, and rest. Money is just the surface issue. What's really wearing you out is the feeling that you're fighting alone, that everything depends on your own effort, and if you don't fix it, no one will. That emotional weight is what I wanted today. Take a deep breath, slow down, and let your heart relax for a moment, because what I'm about to share with you is really important. You are not alone. You never were, even though there were times when you felt like you were. There were silences that hurt, prayers that seemed unanswered, and doors that shut without reason. There were days when it felt like you were holding yourself up because no one else was there to help. But even in those moments when it felt like you were walking through an emotional desert, I was always there. You might not have seen it, but I left signs of my presence all around you. A word from someone who didn't know why they said it, an unexpected opportunity, a thought that calmed you just when you felt like giving up, or a burst of strength that kept you going when you thought you couldn't. None of that was by chance. It was my hand working behind the scenes. And now, picture this with me. You're walking down a long hallway, and that hallway represents your life up to now. Along the way are doors labeled with things you know well: failure, fear, rejection, loss, disappointment, frustration. You've knocked on many of those doors before. Some opened, others blocked you, and each one left its mark. But ahead, there's a new door. It doesn't stand out. It's not loud or flashy, but your spirit can sense something behind it. It feels different. You know there's something there, reserved just for you. That door is the new season of your life that's coming. But there's something you need to understand. The door doesn't open through your own strength, through playing, or through desperation. It opens when your heart aligns with my words. It opens when you choose to believe, even just a little, when you decide to let go of the fear that tells you nothing will ever change. It opens when you choose to trust me with the burdens that have been weighing you down. This message is the first step toward that door. You'll hear talk about provision, about unexpected financial help, about resources arriving when you thought there was no hope left. But I want you to know that provision is just the surface. The real miracle is what I'm doing inside you as you read these words. I know you've been under a lot of financial pressure lately. You've watched expenses go up and payments get delayed. I see it all, and I'm here to bring change. Why does it feel so difficult for me? Why does everything seem to stop when I try to move forward? Why do I have this feeling that something is missing, but I can't quite figure out what it is? Today I want to tell you something important. There is nothing wrong with you. You're not failing. You're not falling behind. And you're not stuck in an endless cycle. What has happened is preparation. Preparation for what's coming next. Something so different that when you look back on the struggles you've been through, you'll say, "Now I understand why I had to go through that." This message isn't meant to excite you, but to open your eyes, to show you that I'm still here, still guiding you, still working in ways you can't always see. Take a moment to breathe and reflect, because what you're feeling right now is not just coincidence, it's an answer. Think about all those times when you thought you were moving forward, only to have something stop you, like an invisible force blocking your way just when you thought things were about to change. That feeling, I understand it. And today, I want to explain something you may never have fully realized. It wasn't failure, it was protection. There were doors I didn't let you walk through because behind them was pain, loss, or unnecessary struggle. You saw a closed door, but I saw a rescue. You thought you were being stopped, but I saw a detour that was necessary for your protection. Nothing that seemed like a setback was really a setback. It was all part of a bigger plan, one you couldn't see from where you were. But I could see it from the very beginning. I know there were days when you questioned whether it was worth continuing to believe. Days when hope felt so small, like a flicker on the verge of going out. It hurt to admit it, but you felt like you were walking through life without seeing any real results. Yet, even in those moments, there was still something inside you, even if it was tiny, that told you to keep going. That small push came from me. Today, I want you to know that nothing you've been through was wasted. Every tear, every silence, every moment you worked without seeing a reward, it was all recorded, not to judge you, but to strengthen and prepare you. What's ahead of you isn't just a temporary fix, it's a complete change of seasons. Some cycles have already ended. Even if you don't realize it yet, certain doors have closed. Not because you've been abandoned, but because new doors are about to open. What is about to open for you will be so clear, so undeniable, and so surprising that you won't need any more signs. You will know for sure that it comes from me. Picture this. You're standing in front of a huge rock. You've been pushing it for months, maybe even years. You've used all your strength, your patience, your strategy, but no matter how hard you tried, the rock wouldn't budge. Even though you felt exhausted, frustrated, and even defeated at times, I want you to understand something important. It wasn't your job to move the rock, it was mine. Your part was to keep trying, to stay faithful, even if you didn't see any immediate results. My part is to move what you can't move anymore. That's how my process works. You do your part, even when you don't see the results right away, and I do mine, even if you don't know when or how. And when our efforts meet, everything will start to flow. Listen carefully to this. Recently, you felt a weariness you can't explain. It's not just physical tiredness, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual exhaustion. You felt drained, like your motivation disappeared, like you were pushing something that just wouldn't move. That weariness is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of transition. When one season is ending, there's always resistance, always pressure, and often, there's one last effort that takes more out of you than all the others. But that's because you're on the brink of a big change. You're standing on the edge of something that will break old patterns. The new season ahead won't look like anything you've experienced before. It won't be just another cycle that repeats itself. It won't be more of the same. It will be a fresh start, a completely new environment, a new energy that will fill your life. What I'm preparing for you isn't small. That's why it's taking time. I'm not giving you a quick fix. I'm preparing a new path. Now I want you to picture something. Imagine you're walking through a thick forest. The ground is uneven, filled with roots, stones, and steep paths. You've been moving through it for a long time, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly, but always feeling the weight of it. Then, suddenly, at the end of the forest, there's a wide, bright, open clearing. The ground is smooth, the air feels fresh, and everything feels different. That clearing is what your future holds. That clearing is your new season, and it's what I'm opening for you. In that clearing, you will find provision you didn't expect. Yes, money that comes to you without any logical explanation. Yes, resources will show up in ways you never imagined. But beyond money, you will find rest, direction, peace, and opportunities you did go after, but that will find you. I want you to pay attention to this. Many times, you thought your finances were blocked, but what was actually blocked was your path to the right place. Provision comes easily when you are in the space where I want you, and that space is closer than you think. That's why I led you to these words today, because you need to be ready internally before you receive anything externally. I don't want my blessing to reach a place that's not ready to hold it. I want it to reach a heart that is open, aware, confident, and prepared. There's something else you should know. People you never expected will think of you. Doors that were once closed will suddenly open. Opportunities that seemed dead will come to life. News you've been waiting on for a long time will start to work in your favor. This isn't exaggeration. It's divine intervention. As you read this, you might already feel a sense of calm or warmth in your chest. It's not by chance. Your spirit is recognizing that my words are exactly what you needed to hear. This is just the beginning of what I'm about to show you. I want you to focus on something important because this part will change how you see things spiritually. Many times, you felt like you were walking aimlessly, as if your steps didn't matter. But in truth, every step you took, even those that seemed like mistakes, was moving you closer to the purpose I have for you. Nothing you've been through was wasted. Nothing was in vain. Nothing happened outside of my plan. I know you thought, Why do I feel like I'm moving forward, only to be pushed back? That feeling, though real to you, wasn't the full story. What was really happening was a quiet preparation, an internal shift that you needed before stepping into what's next. Every hard experience you faced taught you something valuable. Every person who left made space for deeper, more meaningful relationships. Every door that closed kept you from going into places that would have drained you, taken your energy, or cost you peace. And every tear you shed will soon be part of the harvest that is about to show up in your life. Now, I want you to imagine walking down that spiritual hallway again. At first, you saw doors marked with words like pain, loss, or failure. But now, as you continue, you begin to see new doors that you didn't notice before. These doors are labeled with words like change, purpose, restoration, provision, and progress. They weren't closed to you. You just hadn't yet reached the point where you could see them. The tiredness you felt during this time isn't a sign that you failed. It's actually a sign that you've been walking longer than your mind realizes. The spirit senses movement before the mind catches up, which is why sometimes you feel drained without understanding why. It's a signal that you are close to the threshold that separates your past from the new season you're about to enter. But listen closely. You won't walk through this door alone. The transition ahead won't be like the past ones, where you felt burdened by carrying everything on your own. This time, I will go before you. Here's something important I want to reveal. Sometimes the heavens move first, and then the earth follows. You won't always see the hand at work, but you'll notice the results. You won't hear the command, but you'll witness the changes in your life. In the past few weeks, even though you couldn't see it, the heavens have been moving in your favor. People you never expected are thinking of you. Processes that seemed stuck are beginning to move again. Opportunities you thought were lost are reappearing. Paths that seemed blocked for years are opening up from the inside, not from the outside. Everything is aligning for something to happen that will catch you by surprise. It won't be small. It will be so clear, so precise, so specific, that you won't be able to call it a coincidence. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a dry, barren field, with no sign of life anywhere. For a long time, no rain has fallen, and the soil feels hard and hopeless. But beneath the surface, there are seeds that have been lying dormant, waiting for the right moment to sprout. The rain that will awaken those seeds is about to fall on your life. And when it does, it won't just be a drop. It will be a flood of abundance, freedom, provision, clarity, and life. What's coming isn't limited to just a financial gift. That will be just the visible sign of the spiritual river that's being awakened inside of you. Listen to this with your heart. There have been resources that were out of reach, doors that stayed shut even after you knocked repeatedly, and projects that never moved forward no matter how much you prayed, planned, or worked for them. But it wasn't because you weren't capable. It was simply not the right time. Now, the right time is beginning to unfold, and when that moment arrives, no obstacle will be able to stop the flow. When the heavens speak, nothing on earth can block it. When I say, open, no force can close it. And when I declare, it's time, everything adjusts to that command. I want you to take in this deep revelation. What's coming to you wasn't lost, it was just held back. It was held back until your spirit was ready. It was held back until your heart can carry it without fear. It was held back until your faith could see beyond what makes sense. It was held back until you realized that you don't depend on yourself alone, but on me. Now, the heavens are releasing what has been ready for a long time, and here comes a truth that will change the way you see this new season. The unexpected money that's coming will not just meet a need, it will be a sign that a season of lack has ended. It will be the first sign of a larger harvest that's on the way. It will be the confirmation that what you asked for in tears is now returning as a blessing. It will prove that you haven't been forgotten, overlooked, or abandoned. Because I do not forget those who seek me. I do not ignore the cries of those who call out to me. I do not forsake the heart that listens for my voice. There's something else you need to understand. During this transition, things will happen quickly. Unexpected news, sudden shifts, people showing up without explanation, and opportunities appearing without warning. Don't be afraid. Don't doubt. Don't say to yourself, "This is too good to be true." Don't let yourself sabotage the blessing by thinking you're not worthy. Everything that happens will be part of the natural flow of a blessing that has already been set in motion. Things will start to fall into place. Everything will begin to align, and it will all make sense. And this is just the start. I want you to prepare for what I'm about to share with you now, because it's directly related to the area where you felt the most pressure, your mind. What you've been through in your thoughts has not been small. It's been a quiet battleground where you fought battles that no one else could see. You fought against fear, doubt, uncertainty, and anxiety. And even though you might not believe it, you came out stronger than you can even imagine. Your mind has carried so much weight. You've tried to stay strong, logical, practical, and brave, but many nights, your thoughts have worn you out more than any physical effort. You've had conversations with yourself that told you things like you wouldn't make it, that you were falling behind, that something was missing, or that you were losing opportunities. You felt like life was moving faster than you could keep up. I want you to hear this clearly. None of those voices came from me. The voices that exhausted you came from emotional tiredness, past hurts that are still healing, and burdens that you were never meant to bear. But today, I am bringing light to that part of you that has been hidden for too long. I am reaching the place where those doubts were born and removing what has been holding you back. You were not made to be overwhelmed by thoughts that don't align with your true purpose. I didn't create you to live in confusion or to measure your value based on what you have or haven't achieved. Your true design is far greater than that. That's why you're here reading this now, because your mind is being prepared for the season that's coming. A season where you'll need clarity, peace, direction, and confidence, and you will receive all of that. Let me show you a picture in your mind. Imagine your mind is like a big room with many windows. For months, those windows have been covered in dust, filled with painful memories, fears that linger like shadows, and repetitive thoughts that block the light. But now, one by one, those windows are being cleaned. Light begins to shine in, starting in one corner and then spreading to another until the whole room is filled with brightness. What's happening may seem simple, but it's powerful. Your mind is clearing up. That calmness you've been feeling lately, the moments when you suddenly feel at peace for no clear reason, or when you can breathe a little deeper than before, this is not by chance. It's a sign that I'm renewing your inner self. To receive what's coming, your mind needs to be free from fear of what's ahead, free from the weight of the past, free from the need to control everything, and free from the pressure you put on yourself to prove something. You have nothing to prove. You're not in competition with anyone. You're not falling behind. You're not failing, you're simply in a process. This process you're going through is about to show you exactly why it was worth the wait. Now, pay close attention to something very important in this moment. In the days ahead, you'll begin to feel very specific inner urges, ideas that come to you out of nowhere, a desire to rearrange your life, a feeling that it's time to close certain chapters, a need to organize your space, your priorities, your habits, and even your relationships. These feelings are not random. They are your spirit responding to the work I'm doing within you. I'm aligning you on the inside before I align what's on the outside. Because if your mind is unclear, you won't be able to receive the blessing I'm preparing. If your heart is anxious, you won't clearly see the opportunities that are coming your way. If your spirit is tired, you won't have the strength to confidently walk toward the doors that will open. That's why I'm working within you from the inside out. The provision that is coming won't be for a mind that's burdened, but for a mind that is renewed. It won't be for a heart filled with fear, but for a heart that is strong. It won't be for a spirit that is divided, but for a spirit that is awake and ready. Now, let me share something with you that you may have never considered. There were thoughts you believed were your own, but they weren't. Thoughts that came at the exact moment when you were about to take a step forward. Doubts that made you question yourself. Fears that didn't match your true nature. Those thoughts didn't come from your spirit. They were outside influences. But I tell you today, with spiritual authority, that those influences are losing their hold on you. They are falling away, disappearing, and freeing your mind. Your spirit has started to take back the ground you once unknowingly gave away. And now, listen carefully because this is important. What's waiting for you in the next season requires a clear mind to recognize the opportunities when they come, and they will come in ways that will surprise you. A phone call, a message, an unexpected move, a proposal that seems out of nowhere. None of this will be by chance. It's all part of the plan I've been assembling for you for months. Your mental preparation is part of the miracle, though it's not the entire miracle. It's just the start. Because the provision that is on its way, the unexpected money, the door that will open, is not just a resource, it's a confirmation, a sign, a testimony. And I want you to understand something important. I am not just preparing your surroundings, I am preparing you. Your spirit is growing stronger, your faith is coming alive, your mind is healing, your vision is becoming clearer, and your energy is being restored. All of this is happening quietly. As you read, as you breathe, as you take in these words that are not just random, you can feel something stirring inside of you. That feeling is not just your imagination. It's your spirit responding to my voice. What is about to happen, what is about to show up in your life, and the opportunities that are opening before you will prove that this internal process you're going through has a perfect purpose. The best is still to come, but it's already on its way. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes, not physically, but spiritually. What I am about to share with you cannot be understood just by thinking. It must be felt with the soul. This part is very important because it touches the area where you have been most tested, your ability to wait without losing hope. Throughout your life, you've had moments when you thought you were making progress, only for something to suddenly stop. Paths that seemed certain veered off course. Opportunities that appeared to be yours slipped away overnight. People who seemed meant to help you drifted away without any explanation. All of that created deep uncertainty in you. making you wonder if you were truly being led to something better, or if you were just making things up as you went. But here's the truth your spirit needs to hear. I never improvised with you. Even though you couldn't see what lay ahead, I did, and I protected you from doors that would have taken away your peace. I kept you from paths that looked easy but would have ruined your purpose. I removed people who couldn't keep up with the pace I'm setting for you. Everything you lost was not really a loss, it was a redirection. The weight you've experienced was not punishment, it was preparation. I know that many times you've wondered silently, when will it be my turn? You've asked that question in the midst of long nights, watching others move forward while you kept struggling. You've wondered why things seemed to take longer in your life. You questioned if you were doing something wrong, if your faith wasn't strong enough, or if you made poor decisions. You'd even thought I might have been distant from you, but I wasn't distant. I was preparing the details that you weren't yet ready to receive. There are blessings that must come at just the right time, because if they arrive too soon, they can't be appreciated, they can't be held properly, or they might even cause harm. What I'm about to give you can't come too early. And listen closely. Your time of waiting has not been in vain. It has been a quiet process where your character grew, your spirit became stronger, and your vision became clearer. Every day when it felt like nothing was happening, something was actually happening. Every moment that seemed still was actually full of invisible movement. Let me show you what happens behind the wait. Picture a farmer. He plants seeds, takes care of the land, waters it, and watches over it. But for weeks, he sees no changes. The surface looks the same, nothing grows, nothing shifts, but underground, the seed is quietly opening, growing, and preparing to push through the surface. When it finally breaks through, it seems like it happened suddenly, but in truth, it was happening in silence. The same has been happening with you. On the outside, it seemed like there was no progress, but on the inside, I've been growing deep roots in you, roots that will allow you to handle the blessings coming your way without breaking under the weight of them.